Well, tonight we take you to the center of the world. In a News 11 exclusive, I'll share with you how a city in Imperial County, but on the outskirts of Yuma, was able to gain international attention, all because of one Frenchman with a big idea. A tiny dot on the map, Felicity, California, population 2. Careful not to blink or you'll miss it.
Kept driving by and we'd see the little chapel up on the hill. And finally we just decided, let's stop and see what it is. And I mean, it's amazing.
Perhaps though, like Charlotte Hansen, you have noticed that sign. It even made you chuckle. You saw the staircase to nowhere, the church on the hill, the train passing through, or the eye-catching claim, center of the world. So let me share with you the history of Felicity, a small town that holds big history from around the world.
From ancient Greece, a superb legacy. And then a few money matters. Still living above our means. Great stuff, don't you think?
The sharp, speedy,
come with me.
Sweet and sarcastic founder of Felicity, Jacques-Audrey Istel, 91 years young. Did you write everything that's on these walls?
Every word.
Clearly, Jacques was born in France, later served in the United States Marine Corps, and vowed to buy some property if he made it out alive.
I'm 91 years old and still in what they call the honorary reserve. And if I'm recalled, you and I are in very bad trouble.
Right, true. When he first laid eyes on what is now Felicity, he never could have imagined what it's become.
That was in 1952. I was a Marine second lieutenant by that time, on my way to final training at Camp Pendleton from the East Coast.
He knew a farmer in the area.
We bought 3,000 acres after drilling deep to see if there was water.
The town Felicity is named after his wife Felicia. That's her in the yellow, rarely photographed, very humble, gracious and kind. After 56 years together, she still leaves him speechless.
My wife, very hard to speak about her. She just, you know, she went to the same school in England as the princesses. She went to Wellesley. She just doesn't believe in having anybody say anything about her. She's low-key, and she's really quite formidable.
Her story just as unique as his, but we'll stay on track. Felicity was legally established in 1986. Today, the town of two, who you've now met both, is declared by the United Nations as the center of the world.
When my wife and I, after I'd sold my company, and we decided to sit in the desert and do something, there was nothing but bare desert. And I thought, well, we need a central point. I thought, why not the center of the world? But the concept makes no sense.
The earth is a sphere, it's true.
So I had to find something that nobody in the world would argue with.
The concept started as a fairy tale in a children's book Jacques wrote that ultimately became reality.
Based on the children's book, the supervisors of Imperial County unanimously passed the law establishing the official center of the world according to the book at Felicity. First time in history. Everybody laughed. USA Today said nasty things. What almost no one knew, the only law they could pass was a property law. And property laws, since they define the boundaries of countries, are recognized by the United Nations. And 4 years later, I fell off my chair when we received international recognition that this is the official center of the world, that the only one, by law, official.
The title really speaks for itself. He hasn't spent a dime on advertising, and to date, more than 80,000 people can say they've stood at the center of the world.
We tell everybody, stop and take your time. You could spend a day, 2 days out here.
We came here from Wyoming and we're just getting out of the snow, and anywhere in the sun is awesome, and this seems like a pretty cool place to spend it.
What is now the Museum of History in granite started with French aviation. Now the history of the world is etched in stone. We were there for the most recent edition.
Welcome to Felicity and to the United States.
Mona Lisa in granite, a replica of the Liberty Bell, a take on the pyramids, and a very real, original staircase from the Eiffel Tower. Jacques ended up with this 25-foot section after going to an auction where he admits he was just going to sit and have a beer.
Well, the first one went way above my price, and then the second one I thought, have an old marine and that would look good in the desert. I just kept my hand up.
He has very proudly been awarded the highest honor from the French government for bringing a piece of France to Felicity.
When people ask me how much all this cost, the answer is more than a hot dog and less than the space shuttle.
His sense of humor, love of history, children, the world, so very apparent.
Here's a panel on Africa, early India, Assyria. Now,
everyone's included. Flags from different countries greet you at the entrance, and many of the messages are translated in ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian, Latin, Chinese, and Sanskrit, a true message of inclusion. The church on the hill also welcomes any and all religions. It's mostly used today for weddings and vow renewals.
My husband said I'm the center of his world, so.
So the next time you're passing through, you can say you know the history of Felicity. Population 2, a tiny dot on the map that holds big history from around the world. Well, even you could technically leave your mark on the center of the world. Anyone can pay to have their name, face, really anything etched into that granite to be remembered for years to come. With this News 11 exclusive, I'm Jenny Day. Stay with us. Weather's up next.